What's up everybody, it's header day. We're building some custom full exhaust for the truck. You see we got the LT4 stabbed in. We have our header fixture for our collectors right there. We got our steering shaft simulator, and we got our rear end stabbed in with our spring simulators right there. So pretty much everything's in place. We do have a dry shaft already ordered because that is another constraint, if you want to call it. So gives me time to build the headers while I'm waiting on the dry shaft. And we will be using our Ice Engine Works little Lego kit right there. Pretty much build some headers out of the Legos, and then I can transfer them to stainless, make sure everything fits and clears before we waste material. I do still got to put the dipstick in and the starter, which we got them in the boxes over there. So I'm actually going to throw those in first. Need to get some more exhaust bolts for the flanges, and then I can start building some headers. Also made sure our output shaft, our transmission's all centered. Got our motor mounts in, all tightened down, so that way everything just flows exactly the way it's supposed to. Cool, got the starter on, now the dipstick. Alright, issue number one, dipstick does not line up or fit. I don't know if we got the wrong part number or what, but this thing don't fit. Alright, so update, this is in fact the wrong dipstick, so I'm gonna put this back in the bag and get the correct one. So once we get the headers done, it's gonna come in, hit the X pipe, about right here, and then the mufflers are gonna sit roughly about right here, and then over the exhaust, and then out the back. It's kind of the blueprint of how we're gonna make it. So we got a ton of material here, but it's all kind of mixed up, different centerline radiuses and stuff. So I'm gonna get this material unpacked and put on the table and go through and see exactly what center lines I have. That way I know which pieces in there I can use to build the headers. Alright, so I got them all laid out. We got our 2-inch center line, 3-inch center line, 4-inch center line, and 5-inch center line. So now I know what pieces I can use. So I got 3 of the tubes done, and I'm looking at the headers. They look alright, they don't look bad. But what I think I might do is take the second one right here and bring it to the outside bottom over here, and then bring this one up to the top. And then this fourth one can go right here where the second one's going. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And the reason for that is there's kind of some dead space right here, so I'm gonna try to bring it out to kind of fill that empty space right there. All right, I'm really liking the way this is looking, how it's coming out. They all kind of uniform. They're using all the same centerline radiuses, and all around just a clean, simple, effective looking header. So I think I'm gonna run with that. On the other side, I'm not gonna be able to make it like completely identical, because of the steering shaft or the steering column or whatever you want to call it. This one's going to have to kind of come in a little bit more, have more of an aggressive radius, and kind of kick back out to clear that. But that's no big deal. I'll make them look as symmetrical as possible. Looking at it, it looks pretty simple compared to the other headers I built. So this one should be pretty easy, even though it's the hardest one. So yeah, this is what we're going to start with right here. I got 1, 2, 3 bends right here. So I'm looking at my tick marks right here. Little arrows, so I know I can get all of that out of one tube. This will be a second tube, and then roughly somewhere around here would be my third tube, and maybe a little bit of straight extension on the back side. So overall, probably 3 to 4 tubes maybe. Pretty excited to finally use this thing because That other bandsaw was a chore to use sometimes, but we got a new one, so I'm excited to use this thing. I like this saw. It's like so smooth. That was cool. All the coolant kind of makes a mess though. That's the only thing I don't like about it, but that's my only complaint. That's not bad, I suppose. These polishers are so cool. Like, if you don't have a polisher at your shop, you need to get one. Ain't that right, Chance? That's right. Also, you want all your materials clean and prepped for nice clean welds. Clean your filler rods with acetone. You don't want dirty rods, because then you won't get good welds. You'll end up like welds like Mickey, and you don't want that. Got a couple little tacky tacks. You know what they call me? My hood's not straight. They used to call me Tacky Chan back in the day. Four nice clean tack welds. There we go. Cool. Now this piece is good, nice and straight. Clean tack welds, it ain't going nowhere. All right, so I got this piece all tacked together and it looks pretty good. And then I also stuck a digital level gauge right there. So pretty much coming off of the collector, that bottom tube is running 0 degrees out. So it comes out straight and goes up, and then the rest of them all kind of follow that same shape right there. So when it goes into the collector, it's going to be shooting straight in. The headers are coming out pretty cool, and they're coming along pretty quickly too. I got everything tacked together, as you can see. I think I'm gonna have to shorten this one right here. Probably like cut these tacks loose right there. It's kind of diving down like this, so if I shorten that straight piece right there, it'll kind of bring it up and then get that bottom one more parallel with the others. This one's just hanging in there. Nothing too crazy or over the top, just nice, clean, simple headers. Also, I'm gonna show you how simple this is. So you see the arrows right here? I got the line and all the arrows lined up. So you got what, 1, 2, 3, 4 bends and 4 straights. So I can get that out of one tube, pretty much out of a 180 right there. And then this piece right here, I have about 4 straights and then 2 straights on the end. So I cannot get that out of one tube. So what I'm gonna have to do is add a little straight right here on these 4 blocks, and then from this bend down, that'll be out of one tube. So in total, this piece will be like 3 pieces, but it's very minimal, very simple, and for the most part, it's pretty flat. It's just, I just have to clock this one right here. You can see I got the center line marked there and the center line marked here, and then I just transfer it to the steel, and then I know exactly where to put it. So pretty much when I break it down, I can take them apart here, take it apart there. Boom, there's my 3 pieces. That's just 4 inches of a straight piece. Again, I can get this out of that part of the 180 and then this part of this 180. So pretty much this one 180 makes my whole header tube. And it works that way for a lot of the tubes also. The only thing I need is a little straight piece, which is also the cool thing about the 180s is, let's say I only needed 3 pieces for one of them. Well, guess what? Now I have extra material right here that I can get the straight piece out of. You can build the whole headers out of just a bunch of 180s for the most part. So I got my tubes taken back off. Now I'm gonna get these things wiped down with acetone one more time and put a couple more tack welds on here because these are just kind of some fusion tacks. So when I go to start welding, I don't want those fusion tacks to break off and then stuff moves around. So I'm gonna add a couple more good tack welds and then we can get to welding this thing. All 4 tubes are completely welded up. Now I can throw them back in on the collectors and the flanges and then trim them down towards they're all the same length while it's in the collector, and then I can get it tacked and everything and start welding the collector and the flanges and everything else on. Alright, so they're temporarily tacked in there with just one little tack weld. Now I can come back over here on this back side and trace all around the tubes. I know this one's pretty good just because from the templates, but I can trace all these towards they're flush with the plate, and then I can go through and cut them, and then I can put the collector on. For the collectors, we've been using the collectors from Phoenix Fab. So we pretty much all the exhaust systems that I've done up here use all these same collectors, so makes it pretty much repeatable. Check them out, check them out. So just some 4-to-1 collectors. I think he has other ones too, different diameters, different outputs and stuff like that, but they're pretty clean. And I was always curious of this too, like how do these headers seal up on the inside? And to answer that question, well, first of all, he got me some stickers, so shout out to bro for sending me some stickers. But what I'm looking for is little, I call them ninja stars. They're not really ninja stars, but little stars right here. Pretty much you just weld them to the 4 pipes on the inside, and that's what seals the header from the inside. And then you come around here, weld all the way around the perimeter, and that's what seals the headers completely. So if you're looking to buy some collectors, hit them up. I like them, we use them a lot. Here's his QR code, his website, and I'm sure he'll send you some stickers too. So this is where we're at now. I have 4 tack welds on the flanges right there while they were bolted down to the motor. And I have them all tacked through here. Now let me show you where the little stars go. All right, so pretty much self-explanatory. You got the 4 tubes, and let's see if I can do this backwards. But pretty much, little star goes in right there, and then you weld it all the way across, tops and bottoms, and then the inside will be sealed. So I know it's a little loud with background noise, but we working over here. So, V-bands are welded on, got the collector completely welded on. Now I got it pretty much bolted down to this thick aluminum plate right here, and that just kind of helps prevent warping of the flange or anything like that. So get this thing welded up, and I can throw it back on the, I was gonna say the truck, but I can throw it back on the engine and then start on the driver's side. Cool, this header came out dope. Check out the welds on the flange. And my favorite thing to weld is the V-band on the collector. That always comes out really good. So yeah guys, it's going to be a wrap on this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell button for notifications. I'm trying so hard to stay on top of the content to get you guys weekly or at least bi-weekly content so you have something to watch all the time. So be sure to hit that bell button and come back next time to watch me build the rest of this exhaust system all the way back. Peace.